My name's David Curl, and I would like to urge you to find, read and vote for John Brunner's The Shockwave Rider as the best science fiction book of all time. Now, some of the great science fiction books and movies are set in space, of course, but wherever they're set, in my opinion, the very best books and movies are passionately concerned with the affairs of this planet that we all share. Now, John Brunner, the author of The Shockwave Rider, was certainly passionately concerned with this planet's affairs. He was an active member of the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament, for example, and he's the only science fiction writer, to my knowledge, whose words appear in the Labour Party songbook of years gone by, and I wonder if members of the Labour movement still sing these days. Now, his other books, Stand on Zanzibar, The Jagged Orbit, Sheep Look Up, many others, deal with some of the key social and political concerns that we face. But to my knowledge, it's his masterpiece, The Shockwave Rider, that does this best of all. Now, The Shockwave Rider is an exciting novel about a guy called Nick Haflinger, who's a renegade graduate of an elite government school called Tarnover, which, as it turns out, is also the cover for some very shady genetic engineering research. And it's discovering this that turns Nick against the system that has so generously supported and educated him up to that point. Now, Nick Haflinger has a key talent, which is that simply by going into a touchtone payphone, he can create and manipulate whole new identities for himself, which obviously helps him during his career as a fugitive. He's able to pose for a while as the pastor of a revivalist church. He then gets a job with this extraordinary corporation called Ground to Space Industries, or G2S. And it's while working at G2S that he meets and falls in love with Kate Grierson. And she, importantly, lets him know about this whole underground network devoted to fighting the power and trying to take some power back from the oppressive government and corporations that control it in this future that John Brunner imagines. Now, he goes on the run. He arrives at Precipice, this community, if you like, of people devoted to fighting the power. And John Brunner, in the end, delivers an extraordinary ending which takes the world right to the brink of disaster, but leaves us with an ending that we can all cheer for. And some of the issues raised along the way are the issues that face us in the real 21st century that we inhabit. There's the issue of what information overload does to ourselves, our friendships, our society. There's the issue of pollution, environmental degradation and so on. And there's the issue of the increasing division between the super rich and the rest of us. And in Old West is a big news item. This feels absolutely on the money and very far-sighted, really, of John Brunner, who was, after all, writing 40 years ago at the time of the oil crisis and the three-day week. And what's even more surprising is that he seems to get so right the concerns and debates over the internet that we're having at the moment in this age of WikiLeaks and cyber-espionage. This key issue of who controls the internet, whether it's a free, open citizens network or whether it's a space increasingly controlled and policed by government and by corporations. I just want to add in one little anecdote which is maybe indicative of the respect with which John Brunner is held within the science fiction community. He very sadly passed away while attending the World Science Fiction Convention in Glasgow in 1995. And he attended the next World Science Fiction Convention to be held in Glasgow, which was in 2005, or rather his ashes did. And his ashes were present at a panel of leading names in the field devoted to his life and work. And he was spoken of with great warmth, but also with the irreverence with which we tend to treat our true friends who have uploaded to the next level. So in choosing and voting for John Brunner's The Shockwave Rider, I believe you would be honouring one of the great British science fiction books by one of the great science fiction writers. That's why I would like you to cast your vote for the Shockwave Rider.